Holy shit. Legal Mindset, Andrew Esquire's weighing in on this situation with Sykkuno. Let's see what he has to say about this.
Sykkuno is in hot water after a Google drop and a coordinated hit piece drops on him regarding his labeling as a predator for his behavior. So we're in today how the use of the word predator is dangerous legally and potentially defamatory. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a Legal Mindset where we teach you to be your own judge. And this is a fast facts video, the quick and dirty version of the latest in legal news. So our defendant today is Sykkuno, a very large YouTuber, and the plaintiffs, the people making the accusations in this case, are several VTubers.
So we got Homomo, about Mugen.
Ilya, Bao, and Mujin. And all of these folks put together have applied that predator label to Sykkuno, and that's why we're here today.
Not a predator, guys. He's not a predator. Cheater, yes. No. Predator, absolutely fucking not.
Talk about this. So obviously, our Exhibit A is going to be the document, the Google Doc. If you've been around in the VTuber
exposing Sykkuno as a serial cheater, master manipulator, dangerous predator. That's so...
world, as long as I have, you know that many times these accusations and problems come in the form of Google documents. And I've long said that Google documents carry so much.
These are, calling somebody a predator these are life-ending allegations. Like you're trying to completely destroy this guy.
Less than actually going out and filing a police report or filing some sort of lawsuit or legal action, unless you've got evidence that is substantial enough to bring the court to charge somebody with. There's certain labels and applications that are inappropriate, and I think in this case, using the word predator is one of those things. So to give some background here, Sykkuno is very large. He has 2.6 million subscribers.
Sykkuno is a large content creator with 2.6 million subscribers. Romance VTubers Homono and Elias side chicks while in a relationship. Creators Mujin and Bao coordinated with YouTube side chicks to create a narrative labeling Sykkuno as a predator. I like calling them side chicks exactly what they are. That sounds fucking is funny though.
Subscribers on YouTube, and that's part of what is being used against him. Part of the argument here is, as a large content creator, you somehow have more agency and power than a smaller content creator. Now, for me, this is kind of a ridiculous argument, as once again, that we're all human beings. We all have our own agency and ability, regardless of whether you have 1 subscriber, 0, no YouTube channel at all. You are a person with the ability to make your own decisions. And these individuals, VTubers Himamal and Alfuria, were romanced as effectively side chicks by Sykkuno, as is detailed in that Google Doc while he was in a relationship. Now, make no mistake, this is scummy behavior. It's dishonest. It's cheating. And all of those labels would be very, very much appropriate. Calling him a playboy, an F-boy, a cheater, all of that stuff would be fair game.
But you really are popular, huh? But it was a compliment. And besides, it just means that even though you're really popular, you still wanted to talk to me, right? So...
Many content creators, both big and small, would vent to their friends about his behavior. Behind the scenes for many, he'd be known as a predator who regularly took advantage of smaller and or vulnerable content creators. The reason why Sykkuno would abruptly stop hanging out with certain people throughout the years is because of this predatory behavior. However, he'd managed to keep enough influential friends around him to legitimize his position in the space, especially seeing that many of those friends were women who would have normally stood in solidarity with any sort of victim, making it seem like he was safe enough to trust because they trusted him enough to be a friend. As Elfie Lehman, and how
him and that, once again,
dentally, were smaller content creators who wouldn't dare touch him if something went wrong.
So let's stop there and just examine that. Once again, you see Mujin without any caveat or anything, reading through this, applying that predatory label. Once again, just kind of reading the Google Doc with absolutely no analysis or brain cells applied, and just saying, yeah, that's totally accurate. That's totally a good application of the word predator, and that's totally fine. And just because, once again, this guy had a roster of women and they happen to be smaller VTubers. Once again, making that argument that because you somehow have less viewers, that makes you less of a human being. So the reason why this is problematic is we live in a post-Depp versus Heard world where we now have to question these Me Too accusations. And make no mistake, this is a VTuber Me Too type accusation, and look at them a little bit harder to say, okay, is there kind of fault applying on both sides? Is there some reason why we should look at this in a different light? And in this case, there definitely is, because if you look at this and look at the reaction to this,
Nicholas, read the whole document, and yeah, just move the fuck on. Dangerous predator over. Give me a break. So by your logic, women who destroy the monkey branch and cheat are all dangerous predators.
you see people pushing back against this narrative, such as this comment by Nicholas Light saying, read the whole document, just move the F on, dangerous predator, go give me a break. And another response here, so by your logic, women who monkey branch and cheat are also dangerous predators. So, some fair criticism there, especially when you look at the evidence that these individuals, these small content creators, were not ones that he went out of the way to approach, but ones that slid into his DMs. So these content creators, these small content creators, were indeed out there hoping to catch the prey, as in the...
I was wondering, there's a 15 age gap. You can't bring up the age gap when you were the one who initiated the conversation, who started this girl, are you looking for Valentine's Day? This is from the girl. And this Sykkuno replies back, what? You can't just open up with something like that. Besides, Valentine's Day is almost over. Teehee. We can always do a Valentine's Day do-over.
larger content creator that they were searching for. And it's very interesting the juxtaposition they apply here, particularly when they also apply the age gap analysis.
You might be able to, if it was reversed, if Sykkuno hit up with this girl first, but this didn't happen like this though.
So they say, hey, there was this age gap against as well, and that was predatory. Well, you can see an age gap working two ways. Many people find an age gap, and whether it's an older man, older woman, whatever, they find an age gap appealing because an older person can have more emotional stability, they can be more consistent, and certainly
the age gap problem is only an issue when it's a young girl going to an older guy. But if it's a young guy to a fucking older girl, it is literally more power to the girl. That's literally what it is.
they have usually more resources to give. They have more finances. They can give out money. And that's something that's viewed positively when you're in good with them. But as soon as a narrative flips and as soon as things go negative, now it's manipulation. Now it's a power imbalance. Now it's economic domination, right? And mind you, none of these funds, this thousands of dollars that were given to these girls, seem to have been returned or given back.
Exactly. He gave these girls thousands of dollars. Then that's not even all the money. We only see a small portion of money he sent these girls. Dude, Ed, I bet you he threw out thousands for this fucking, oh my god. Crazy, man. Fucking, if there's any women out there who want to fucking exploit me for fucking money, just goddamn hit me fucking up, dude. Holy shit.
To kind of make this all right. This is something that, once again, when it was an advantage, it was an advantage, and when it was not, it was not. And we see here some of the backlash also leading to some spurging out.
Getting criticized from you. Okay, yeah, this is okay. This is the shit. I had a fucking stroke reading this shit before. Because, alright, so Powder writes this first. And then Mugen fucking replies back. And he does some fucking weird ass, like, roleplay shit. As if he's talking as her. And mentions something about, her getting canceled because she secretly dated a black guy. Like, where the fuck does this come from? Like, you know she dated a black guy. Why does it fucking matter if she dated a black? Why? Like,
It doesn't necessarily make it predatory. And if we look at the core legal,
is a person who's committed one or more severe sexual offenses and is determined to pose a continuing danger to others. This designation is formally under statutes, often referred to as sexually violent predator, SVP laws, which exist in many U.S. jurisdictions. Courts may assign the status based on prior convictions, the severity of offense, psychological evaluations, and evidence of predatory behavior patterns, such as targeting minors or using coercion or force. Criteria for designation to be classified as such predator: an individual typically must have a conviction for a sexually violent offense, such as aggravated sexual assault, child sexual abuse, or trafficking minors for sexual purposes. Be found by courts to have a mental abnormality or personality disorder that predisposes them to commit future sexually violent acts. Undergo a psychological evaluation and expert testimony to assess the likelihood of recidivism
definition. And this is what I want to focus on, because when we use this in the context of dating, especially a man dating a woman, it could be a woman dating a man, but when we use this in a dating context online for an individual, we all know the definition that people are going to assume with predator. And here's my judgment. In judgment, cheating and dishonesty are bad and can be condemned.
Cheating, dishonesty, or bad act can be condemned. Use of word predator is defamatory and dilutes criminal meaning similar to pedophile. Right, so if you were to keep calling someone like Tecton a pedophile or a rapist, when there's no fucking, like, just because he had a civil case that he lost with his ex, but none of it is like proven like true or false. Like, there's something, or people are calling him a rapist because his dad had a stint in the military, which his dad sounds like a fucking fucked up person. But
it's very right if you want to come out and call someone a cheater or judge their morality. That's perfectly fine. And I don't think anyone would have had any problem with this if that's where it stopped. And once again, I don't really care one way or another about Sykkuno and calling him a cheater, labeling him as this or that. That's fine. And the real victim in this is his girlfriend, who really knew nothing about this and was exposed to this information at the end. And also at the end, she's having to deal with this fallout, which may or may not have been with her consent, the documentary, all this expose, essentially defamatory.
like I said in my last video, this is all it comes down to. Even he saying it, what LegalMindset said in this video, cheating's bad. That it is what it is on the earth. Was he a predator? No, he was not a predator. You cannot call somebody a predator simply because he cheated on his girlfriend and he was with these women. These women got loads of money from him. And it's not like even when he was giving these women money, it was like, oh man, I really want to play the new Resident Evil 9 game. Oh, here's some money to go buy the Resident Evil 9 game. Oh, I'm in Europe. I'm currently trying to move. I don't have money for rent right now. Oh, here's money for rent so you can finish moving. $500. Dude, none of these women, no, and these screenshots that he's showing in Muji's video or none of them are like, hey, I can't take this money. Thank you very much. I really appreciate this money. No, these women can't. Like, it's like the one that started this whole thing, the woman before, she only started shit because she's upset that Sykkuno decided to drop her as a side chick. She wanted to become the main chick. Sykkuno said no. Sykkuno, I guess, I'm assuming he must be trying to work it out with his girlfriend. That's all I think of. But you can't, because you're upset he didn't continue a relationship with you, you can't call him a predator. That's literally what it is. Just stop cheating on people. Don't call people a predator. This whole pedophile abuser shit, like people want to call Tectone, it's not. You're just fucking, you're devaluing the words, and it's so stupid. All right, guys, have a good day.